we need to know in our mind that we can be better. You know, it starts with work ethic, it starts with goals, right? It starts with, you know, maybe chasing somebody. I don't know. I've had a saying forever that if one can, I can. And who's at the top of the leaderboard? And if someone has been up at the top of that leaderboard, like we've had in this organization, writing $500,000, $600,000 a year every year for 5-6 years, that tells you what's possible. And even they can be better if they work on their message and so on. But that gives me something to shoot for. So how do I catch them? Well, my work ethic can easily match them, but my skill, my communication skill, that's one thing that once I'm talking 6 hours a day, 7 hours a day, you've kind of maxed out in this system, right? Then it comes down to my message. Can I improve my message? What do I need to improve? Well, the way to know that is listen to yourself. How do I sound? What I buy from me? Do I talk from my heart? Is my presentation a conversation or does it sound scripted? People don't buy from those that sound scripted. People buy from those where a connection is made. When is there a connection made? When people understand that you care. They got to know you care, right? They're talking to other people looking for a final expense policy that only care about their bank account, right? That's all that other salesman cares about. They have to know you care. How do they do that? In our organization, you know, we have a method, we have a track for you to run on. We have a script for you to put here so you can say it from here, not word for word, but the basis of the script starts with credibility. They got to know you're a credible organization. They got to know that this company is credible. They got to know that you are credible. I listened to an agent yesterday that sent a business card and said, Miss Mary, the card has all my credentials. And then he moved on, and I thought, oh my God, what a missed opportunity. It has all my credentials? Really? The card talks about Final Expense Direct. It has our website where you can click and go see all the reviews, over 4,300 5-star Google reviews from customers. That's huge, right? It has my license number, and that number lets you know that I'm licensed by the state of Alabama and authorized to help you with your final expense benefits today, Mary. Right? So to say it has my credentials and move on doesn't get where you need to be in credibility. From credibility, you've got to dig in to find out why we're on the phone today. Why are they calling in? Remember, we're not calling them, bothering them while they're cooking or while they're in their garden or while they're watching Oprah on TV. We're not disturbing them trying to break into their day and talking about final expense. They are seeing an ad about final expense, and they're taking the initiative to call in, and they're in your headset. They're inquisitive. They don't know how this works, right? They're a little shy, they're a little human nature is to stand back, push push back. Think of yourself when you walk in a store and the salesman walks up, says, "Can I help you?" No, I'm fine. I'm just looking. Even though you know why you're there, right? It's just human nature to push off. So you got to break through that. How do I break through that? My son Matt does a great job, and I won't be able to say verbiage, but he does a great job in throwing out 2 possible reasons why they've called today. One is you've got a plan in place, you've had it for a while, and you're thinking you might need a little bit more because costs have gone up. And number 2, something's come up and you just feel like you have a need to make sure that you have a policy in place so this doesn't fall back on your family. Does one of those 2 fit? And there's a host of other reasons. But you gotta, in this next part of the presentation, you gotta find out why they're on the phone. There's a host of reasons that you need to find out right there. I can't tell you how many of them had a policy previously that it lapsed because the light bill went up and now they want another one, but they want to buy it from the right guy, right? Or they just bought a policy 3 months ago that's way too expensive and they need to cancel that and get something they can afford. There's a host of reasons, but you got to dig into why. You got to come off with a meaningful conversation, talking from your heart, because they've got to buy you. If they're not buying you, they're not buying anything in your bag. They buy you first, then they buy what's in your bag. And it doesn't matter if your plan is more expensive per thousand than another quote they got. They didn't buy that other guy policy because they didn't buy that guy. They will pay more because of you. They will. They will. So you've got to have a credible, friendly, meaningful presentation, right? He talked about being 1% better every day. You got to have that mindset. If you want to sell final expense over the telephone in a free lead platform, there is no better platform than this one right here. I've been in this business since 1970. I know what the market is. I know the other top carriers out there. And my goal is to continue to build a better mousetrap that no one else is doing. Nobody. I'm a salesman. I know what a salesman needs to win. And I promise to provide that. But you got to bring work ethic, a will to win every day. Winning is an everyday occurrence. It's not part-time. You got to bring it every day. Bring that attitude of somebody that wants a 6-figure income opportunity. If your skill level only has you at that 60,000 level, again, 1% better every day. Keep doing the work like Josh Campbell is doing, like Philip Hunn is doing, like Michelle Pelton Bennett is doing, like Brody is working on. Keep doing the work. We have people closing at 22, 24% year to date. Those guys, Keon Kim, 22% year to date. Matt Kuhn, 24% year to date. That's what these leads are with a sales rep who has a good message. Again, if one can, I can. What are they doing I'm not doing, and aspire to that. I talked to a salesman yesterday who was off track, who's a great salesman, and his closing ratio had fallen down to 11%. And I said, if you just raise that up to 18%, right now you're having to take 9 leads to get a sale. Go back up to 18%, and you get paid off of every 5 leads. Would you rather talk to 5 people and put money in the bank, or 9 people? Get your message back. Again, 1% better every day. You got to have goals. Without goals, you won't try and be 1% better every day. If somebody's putting up $600,000 a year in sales, that's 12 grand a week in sales. Our average premium for the year, Paul talked about it this morning, at $929. Our average premium year to date is $945 per sale. It's off from previous years. We were at $970. We're at $945. So if someone's writing 12,000, that means they're averaging 13 apps. 13 apps a week for 50 weeks. 2 weeks off for good behavior, right? That's what this opportunity is. You got to see the vision, be willing to dig deep and find out, analyze yourself. What am I missing in me? What do I need to do to be that? And then be about going and doing that. We're going to show up every day providing the leads, providing the support, providing the leadership, providing the customer service. The insurance companies are going to do their part and issue the policies. The rest of it's up to you. You got broad shoulders for a reason. God gave you broad shoulders for a reason. Again, have that mindset. If it's to be, it's up to me. And then just go make it happen. Open your mind. Make it happen. God bless you all. We got leads. Let's go have a great day.